lovely world. So I was trying to figure out something that would be cool to do on this channel. And I was picturing what my plans for New York are. And now I know New York's not for a very, very long time. And there's still some time to change the plans a little bit. But the thing that kept coming to the forefront of my brain is, you guys know how much I love going to Comic-Cons. And whether it's a small one that I've been to 3 times, hopefully 4 this year, the Comic-Con thing sticks out most in my daily life. And I got to thinking, what are 2 big cities? I'm not saying I would go to one of the big cities, but what are 2 big cities that have the biggest crowds of all the Comic-Cons in the world? There might be 3 or 4, but in the United States. There's one here in California, which is in San Diego, California. There's one in New York. There's one in Orlando. And then I'm sure there's another Comic-Con somewhere else, like maybe in Texas or somewhere, that has a big, following and stuff. So I was thinking, what could I possibly do for my 35th birthday, which is still, 4.5 years away, that would be awesome to do for this channel, and I could film it. And then I was thinking, I don't want to go to San Diego for that, because I want to go outside of the state. Then I was thinking, okay, you got Orlando, you got New York, you probably got Columbus, Ohio. That's probably, got a big place to have it. And then I was thinking of it slower, because, like I said, thinking of narrowing it down to 2. And the 2 that I narrowed it down to are Orlando and New York. And I was thinking about this. Like, if I'm going to go to New York for my 35th birthday, why the heck not go to New York Comic-Con? And that was when I realized, hey, if I can go to New York for 2 weeks and just go and see everything in New York, like a baseball game, go to the Comic-Con all 3 days or all 4 days that it's happening, whenever it is, go to Times Square, go see a Broadway show, go find the best pizza in New York, all that stuff. And that's when I realized, I could do New York Comic Con and film it for you guys. I mean, I could do anything in New York and film it for you guys and gals out there who watch my videos. And that's what I think the plan is right now for my 35th birthday when I go to New York. Now, I still haven't figured out if I'm going to go alone, or if I'm going to go with a couple of friends, or if I'm going to go with my brothers. Who knows what that's going to be like. Because that's still, 4.5 years away. Because when I was looking it up online, New York Comic Con takes place usually September, October time of year. And sure, it might be a little cold during that time. But my birthday is in April, so who knows what's going to happen for my 35th, but that's what I really would love to do, is to go to New York and go to the Comic-Con in New York. Because that has such a huge, that's probably the second biggest Comic-Con that they have in the United States, as far as I know. Because when I've read reports that, San Diego's version of Comic-Con gets like 250,000 guests. Now, I'm not sure if Javits Center can fit that many. They make it fit more, or they can fit right around 200,000. But I would like to experience Comic-Con outside of the state. And one of my friends mentioned that to me about 2 or 3 months ago, that I should go to Comic-Cons outside of California. Or outside of my city, basically. But then, New York's got a pretty big Comic-Con. San Diego's got a pretty big Comic-Con. Maybe even Orlando has a pretty big Comic-Con that, guests go to. But New York seems like it could be the best one to go to. Don't get me wrong, San Diego's could be the greatest ever. But I think I would like to do New York's version of Comic-Con. And I know it's just, it's just in the planning stages right now. I'm not saying it's going to actually happen. But if it were to happen, I'd show it to you 150%. Because that's what you guys probably want to see is me going to Comic-Cons outside of my city or outside of my state. And what better way to do it than going to New York's version of it? And, going to a Broadway show or, going to a baseball game in New York, whether it's the Mets or the Yankees. Maybe even going to Times Square and seeing all that stuff that's in Times Square. And trying to find the best pizza in New York. All of that stuff. And, there's probably other things to do in New York that besides those things. Going to the Brooklyn Bridge. I mean, there's just so much stuff you can do in New York. And going to Comic-Con would be the top of that list. For me, at least. I don't know if you guys will agree or disagree with me on this, but I'm just saying that I hope that I can save enough money to go to New York for my 35th birthday. And that would be amazing. To, fly there, get a hotel there, or someplace to stay, go to New York Comic Con, go to a baseball game, go to a Broadway show, go to Times Square, go to the Brooklyn Bridge, all of it. All the stuff that you can do in New York, I would love to do for my 35th birthday. Which I know is still, far, 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 far away. It's like 1,500 days away. Which is like 4.5 years or more. But I want to do it until like the end of 2024. Which is, like I said, 4 years and some change away. And I don't know when Comic-Con that year is going to be because they really usually only announce it when it's a year ahead. So like right now it's 260 days until this year's New York Comic-Con. And who knows when, Comic-Con will be in 2024. But that's my main goal for 2024 is to go to New York Comic-Con. I'm not saying that's 100% set in stone. I'm saying like 2 or 3% set in stone, or 2 or 3% that it might actually happen. It might go up a little bit every single year, but right now it's at the very bottom of that thing. I really do want to go to New York Comic Con, and hopefully I can get to do that. I mean, by that time, I'll probably gone to like 7 or 8 of California, my city's Comic Con, hopefully. So, we'll see. I don't know what's going to happen just yet. But the fact of the matter is that I want to do New York Comic Con and do everything I possibly can in 2 weeks in New York for my 35th. But my 35th is in April, and Comic Con may be like towards the end of 2024, towards the end of that year. So that's what was going through my mind just now as I was watching some Sex Education, which has nothing to do with New York at all. And my mind goes to places where it shouldn't go. Like it thinks 4 years in the future. It just does strange things, and not like weird, creepy, strange things. It just thinks into the future, too far into the future. That's just how my brain works. I don't know how it works that way. It just works that way. So I hope you have a great 2020. Have an amazing birthday, whatever you celebrate this year. And I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.